Obvious question before I get into you. I did the Tigers. You're able to speak Spanish around Latin giants, you know. You've got Willie there, both of them, McCovey and Mays. Did you have more than one that you had a favorite or interacted with?
It was probably McCovey.
What, really?
Yeah, because he had a nickname for me.
Okay.
McCovey used to call me Little Jack. Little Jack. Every time I come by. And you know, people don't understand, when I was in the clubhouses and stuff, a lot of my friends used to give me their cards and stuff for the guys to sign. I got them signed.
Yeah.
I never got not one signed for me.
Really?
Not one. And I didn't like bothering the guys, you know.
Sure.
I was kind of like, but I didn't mind going up to McCovey. McCovey signed everything I gave him. Willie Mays, I didn't go up to him. I was scared of him. I was scared of him.
You and many others.
Yeah, I was scared of Willie. But, you know, Marichal signed everything because, you know, we ended up living in his house when we were in San Francisco, one of his houses.
Really?
You know. But as far as being in the clubhouse and everything, it was a treat. Barry Bonds was there. You know, we used to
As
play
a kid?
catch. Yeah. We used to play catch. We used to go shag fly balls in the field. So.
You're how old now?
Me, 56.
So he was a little bit younger. Than you.
Mm-hmm.
Two future Major League All-Stars as kids in the same clubhouse. It's a lot.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Was he just there, or did you interact with Bonds?
No, we interacted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing catch. I mean, we're the only ones that, you know, were around, and we were out there all the time. So we got a chance to be out there a lot.
So what was your step as into? Did you go to college and you got noticed, or did you sign a contract out of high school?
I ended up getting drafted out of high school 6th round by the Phillies, and they had a couple scouts come out and see me. And
where was high school for you?
In Phoenix.
So the Phillies are watching you in Phoenix, Arizona,
yeah.
And they draft you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what scout was keeping his eye on you?
His last name is Reed.
Scott Reed?
Scott Reed.
Sure. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. And so he went out there and watched me, and then they brought somebody to watch me after that. And I ended up getting signed, and they sent me to Auburn.
Auburn, New York.
Yeah, and that was once I showed up there, it's like everybody's got good, you know, pretty decent tools and stuff, and you know, and the first 3 years or 2 years of me playing ball, I ended up going to instructional league, and that was, you know, pretty cool too, because there was a lot of AAA, AA, and A-ball guys were there, and it was interesting. I mean, now looking back at all the guys that I played with down there, it was a pretty impressive group of guys, you know, that the Phillies had.
They had a great farm system,
yes.
And they were feeding their own. If you look around their infield, Schmidt was homegrown, Bo was homegrown, Buzinski, boom, they're all.
Well, they ended up having a lot of guys that they got rid of, and if they would have kept them, they would have kept going, because there's, you know, they traded for some pitching and some other people, and it was, you know, it was amazing. We had George Bell, we had Joe Charbonneau, we had Julio Franco, Mark Davis, Bob Denier, Len Matuzak.
With all these guys, was there someone that was instrumental in making you a better catcher? You know.
Well, I think it was Andy Semenuk.
Real former catcher.
Yeah, he was in during instructional league. He was one of the catchers, or one of the instructors. And the thing about Semenuk, they had a picture in spring training that they have Andy Semenuk standing over home plate, and there's a guy laid out behind him. It's pretty impressive or memorable to see that, because, you know, he taught you how to protect yourself over there, get your shot so you don't get hurt. And I don't think there's enough guys. I've watched a lot of these catchers today. They they can't do that kind of stuff anymore because they don't stay in there. They always olay everything. And I watched, I think it was the Rays. They lost a game because the catcher didn't stay in there and block the play and let the ball come to them. I mean, and you know, they go out and get it. I mean, I'm like going, you know, I'm kind of like old school. So you got to stay in there and let the guy kill you. You can't give up the winning run, especially in the World Series or playoffs. You got to stay there and take the hit.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't olay it. Oh well, they lost the game. I did it in the All-Star game. Me and Winfield hooked up, and we ended up winning the game because I blocked the plate and took a hit. You know, that's
Was
part
it
of
out?
the game.
Because
yeah,
you
he was out.
Who made the toss from the outfield?
Nobody made the toss from the outfield. It was a double play. It was a throw at first base. Pedroia made a great play over there.
Yeah.
He picked the ball and then gave me a crappy throw. Thanks a lot, Pedroia.
What's odd is you're talking about Seminick. Seminick was the catcher when the Phillies were in the World Series in 1950. Yes. The Phillies weren't in the World Series again 30 years later, and you just happened to be one of the guys that got called up to be part of that team.
Yes.
What, you know what you got called up into. I don't care whether it was September or not. You got called up to a clubhouse that the team was on fire.
Fire, yeah. You know, they called up, I think, 5 of us. One of them was Ryan Sandberg and Marty Bystrom. Bystrom won 5 games for them.
No losses.
No losses, and they needed it. I mean, they were struggling, and they needed some fresh arm up there, and he did a great job.
They kept him too.
Yes.
They put Randy Lurch on the
Yes.
on the back burner and kept Bystrom because he was hot and he was winning.
He was hot, and so that's what they did, and they ended up winning the World Series. I mean, it was amazing.
Do you realize your first month in the big leagues, you got champagne being sprayed at you?
That's what we did. That was
That's crazy.
That's what it was. That was probably one of the most incredible things. People wait a long time to do that, and we're doing it in 1 month. You know, and show up there. They didn't use us a lot because they were keeping the team, throwing the same team out there, and then every now and then they throw us in there. Bob Denier went up there and he was stealing bags for them, and you know, and that's all he did. And he would stick him in the outfield, and they didn't make him hit. You know, that's what they brought him up for. You know, you're just going to run and try to, you know, steal some bases. But Bystrom went in there and was he really contributed to the team. You know, winning 5 games last month. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And coming out of, you know, the minor leagues, wins 5 games, and I'm talking about dominating.
Did you get your first, you know, because it's just a September call-up, a couple of bats, did you get your first hit that year, or did you have to wait till the next year?
No, I got my first hit that year, because once we went in the playoffs, they let us all play. We were like, wow, it's our first game. And so, and I got my first hit off of Charlie Lee. I think he's passed away.
Yeah, he passed away recently. That means we're playing against the Expos.
Yes. And by chance, my dad got to see my first base hit in the big leagues.
He was a coach for the Expos.
Yes. He got to see my first big league hit.
Was there emotion?
And
there's conversation.
Yeah, afterwards it was great. And then he not only saw my first big league hit, he saw me in because the week before that, or the night I got called up, the Expos are in town. He got to see me in the field for the first time. So
was your mom there too?
Oh, my mom? No. My mom was there too. Yes,
she was.
She came in from New York. She was living in New York, and it was pretty crazy, you know. But you know, you show up, and you know, in the minor leagues, your name's on the back of your jersey, and then you show up there, and your name's on the back of your jersey. As soon as I got into the clubhouse, I looked looking around. I'm kind of like going, wow, it's huge. And now I'm looking, and I look around the corner, and then kind of startled with my name on a jersey over there. I'm like, oh, I made it. I'm here.
Well, not too long after that, A, you had experience, and B, you were no wet behind the ears kid, because no sooner the 80 World Series is over, and some teams it takes a decade or 2 decades, but you're back in the World Series
Yeah.
a second time in 83.
Yes.
There's a big difference for you this time because you feel part of the
Yes, yes. And that was a lot of fun. I mean, people don't, once you get into the World Series, the intensity is different. Once you show up there, you do all that work to get there, and then it's kind of like more laid back. Everything's magnified what you do, but it's kind of like laid back. I mean, we played in Baltimore and we win the first game. I'm like going, hey, we're going to win this. And all of a sudden we lose 4 straight. It was like, man, it was such a letdown. It's like,